So George Bush is out there. There was a story in the National Journal by Tom DeFrank with some updates about his some blind quotes that are worth reading. He tells close friends, "I'm done with politics. I'm not done with life. And I've got a real good life." He recently reminded a political ally, not for the first time. A close friend told the National Journal he's enjoying the hell out of life. He's his loosey-goosey self again, the way he used to be. In other words, not pretending to not be a fuck-up anymore. You have no idea how relieved he is to be out of the game, one of his oldest friends said. He doesn't miss politics even a little. Maybe that has something to do with him being such a disastrous president. Of course he's confident about turning around his reputation, one longtime counselor told National Journal. How else could he be? But he's got a ways to go to mending his record, if it can be done. There's a lot of baggage to deal with. Iraq, Afghanistan, most of all the excessive spending. And at the moment, the trajectory isn't going in the right direction. Oh yeah, that thing about the torture, the war crimes, that, thing on 9/11 after he had said, now you've covered your ass, when he got the warnings about it. But whatever. Meanwhile, he's convinced his presidency ultimately would get higher marks than contemporary assessments. I'll let history decide. And I'll also hope that Jen Rubin writes a nice little piece about me in the Washington Post. Holy cow, she has. What a coincidence. Jen Rubin from the Washington Post, one of the, this is the woman who also said that, Mitt Romney was a great and underappreciated man. She writes, unlike Obama's tenure, there was no successful attack on the homeland after 9/11. And the anthrax. After 9/11. He gets a mulligan. And it turned out that the triumvirate of Iraq, Iran, North Korea really was the axis of evil. Except for that part where Iran was empowered by what we did in Iraq. And our stature in the world dropped significantly. And Korea is really a joke.
Also, Iran was really, really helpful in the initial stages of invading Afghanistan, and they offered us a pretty comprehensive deal, which we had rejected out of hand.
Well, that's because they were the axis of evil.
Like, I'm trying to build a concept here.
Hey, come on, you're stepping on my narrative. President Bush took a huge political risks to back the surge in Iraq, which worked, except for the extent that it didn't actually work. Iraq is still a total mess. People are dying in the tens and dozens weekly. And then, of course, there wouldn't be a need for the surge had you not illegally invaded and occupied that country based on a pack of lies in the first place. He's responsible for one of the most popular and fiscally sober entitlement plans, Medicare Part D. The words fiscally sober mean absolutely nothing if they can be used in this context. We could achieve and put Medicare on a path for almost total solvency by simply allowing the government to negotiate and use its volume discount powers with pharmaceutical industry on Medicare Part D. But no, that's not the case. Only when we see a robotic, cold president like Obama? Do we remember fondly the tender, tearful love of country Bush often conveyed, and the steely anger directed at our enemies? Someone's got a little bit of George Bush love there. Only when a president completely bollocks up our relationship with both the Palestinians and the Israelis do we recall how warm and productive was our relationship with the Jewish state under Bush, and how Israel proved willing to take risks for peace under the right circumstances. Recall that it was the Bush administration that forced the Israelis and the Palestinians, before they were ready, to hold elections which empowered Hamas and scuttled any opportunity for any type of peace accords. Recall that it was the Bush administration that pushed the Israelis into attacking Lebanon, which proved to be disastrous. Recall that it was the Bush administration who, in every turn, rather than providing Israel a counterweight to domestic urges to be more brutal with Palestinians, urged them on to do more. But he was so warm and tender and loving to the Jewish people in Israel. Bush's shortcomings, misreading Putin, I looked into his eyes. I saw a real man, Putin. Leaving office without dealing with Iran, some excesses in domestic spending are evident. Those are all his shortcomings? Bush, like so many other presidents, can be judged best with the passage of time. Yes, the more people who die and forget what George Bush was like, the better off he will be, indeed.